One of the things that I was really interested in when it came to getting to know Alexei was just his political curiosity. Navalny, you and Navalny would get along really well because he, I think much like you, is a total public policy and politics nerd. He's a total wonk. He loves talking about public policy. He loves debating the issues of the day. He has something to say about everything, as do I. And oftentimes we were on opposing sides of a given issue and we would have these ferocious arguments, and I would watch as he would outmaneuver me in my language. This is his second language, and it just showed the magnitude of his intellect and his ability. He's a very talented guy, very curious guy.
What would you have been on the opposite sides of?
Well, I remember Twitter, one specific thing that we were debating is Twitter had just banned Donald Trump. And I remember my opinion on that, being a decent progressive from the West, was good. This guy should not have a platform. He's dangerous and unhinged in all of these things. And Navalny, being a progressive from a very different context, which is Russia, his opinion on that was, no, absolutely not. Who is Jack Dorsey? What is Twitter? Who are these people who get to decide who gets a voice? I'm sorry, but you Democrats with your values think that everyone should have freedom of speech, except if you don't like what they have to say.
Did he convince you?
I was certainly able to see things from his perspective. What his point was is that every single day there were thousands of people uttering death threats against him. And why aren't they banned from Twitter? So I think that he brought up some very good points, but it was a dynamic discussion that really highlighted a little bit of our interpersonal dynamic.
On the other hand, for a progressive Russian, he does keep company with some fairly far-right Russian fascist types, which feels like an odd thing to do. Why does he do that?
Well, it's a great question. First and foremost, when I was making this film, one of the important political lessons that I had to learn was that left and right, progressive, conservative, these terms that we use to describe political lines where we come from in Canada, don't apply to Russia. There is no analog for the left and the right. The issues that typically divide what left and right is in the West have no analog in Russia. So that's the first thing. And I think more than anything, what would define Navalny's his mission is to get rid of Putin and install a democratic tradition in the country, to cut the power of the presidency and to let the Russian people decide for themselves their vision for the future of the country. And what Navalny says, and what he would say, is that democracy is messy, and you cannot, if you want to oust a tyrant and a dictator, just appeal to the nice people. You have to appeal to as many people as possible. So when it comes to Navalny's flirtation with nationalism, something I might add I find deeply uncomfortable, it's a political calculation he's made.
The enemy of the enemy is my friend.
I think that's what it boils down to. And whilst it's something that makes me uncomfortable, I can understand why he made that political decision.